Hey, what's going on, everybody? Boilon here, and welcome back to another video on Marvel Strike Force. Today, I want to talk about something that's been on my mind for a little while now, especially since the weekend. I think, we obviously had quite a bit of I don't want to say drama, but I guess it was. But issues regarding the events table and stuff, which happened over the weekend from like Friday through Saturday and Sunday, that kind of thing. And there was something that was said over the weekend, particularly, from some of the envoys regarding something that's coming up in the future. And again, this is not a video, just a disclaimer here. This is no video. This is not against anyone at all whatsoever. It has to do with what was said. It has to do with what might be coming up and what this could be. Because it's being framed as something so bad that could actually kill Marvel Strike Force. At least maybe kill it for free to play. There seems to be some, what would make this really bad. And actually, I was thinking about how things are in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and it seems that sometimes there's, some take from over there to put into Marvel Strike Force in sort of more MSF terms, and I kind of want to have a conversation a little bit about what this might be. What could be so bad that could come to Marvel Strike Force, if left unchecked, could actually kill the game? We're going to find out and more. So if you're ready to go, let's boil this down. Okay, so I want to give a special shout out to Mobile Gamer. Again, this is nothing to do, there's nothing bad about what I'm going to say. It's just some things that I heard, and made me wonder what's going on. What is actually possibly coming in the pipeline in this game, or not, if they hopefully decide to not do whatever it is. But I kind of want to, let you guys hear a little bit about what was conversed. This was a video on Sunday, I think it was, between Mobile and Valley, and what they said regarding this upcoming, I'm going to say feature, because, who knows. It sounds like to me that it's some combination of maybe it's a new game mode, maybe it's a new progression system, maybe it's a progression system that's locked behind something, really, really terrible. That's what I'm kind of thinking about, and I've just been trying to think about what the worst case scenarios could be. And I get a lot of that from people who play Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, because apparently, for example, requiring 7 yellow stars to do certain things. But anyways, I want to kind of give you guys a little, if you haven't seen this video, there's a little bit of a section here where they talk about this.
I didn't even test this idea. I read about it.
Oh wait, so let's back up a little bit. I think I started a bit early.
If I went back to the Envoy program and then they released it the following week.
So there's something so bad. Obviously, we know, for those, unless you've been under a rock, Mobile Gamer left the Envoy program, and he's talking about something that's so bad that if he came back to the Envoy program and they released this, it would look bad.
I will not do that. This
idea. I didn't even test this idea. I read about it, and it was so bad I didn't even test it.
Now, I'm a little bit curious, because I don't know right there. I don't know what they mean by test this idea. Which almost suggests that you could play with it. So I don't know if this is something that, again, maybe the Envoys have access to this. The top alliances typically do as well. Maybe some other extra people as well. I don't know. I'm at a loss, as obviously someone who is not in the Envoy program, who does not know what this is. I can only speculate at this point.
I didn't give any feedback, because this is bad.
Yeah, this is bad. This is one of the most player-unfriendly ideas I've ever heard. There was unanimous outcry that this was a garbage, trash idea. In the history of this game, there has never been anything more shitty than this idea that they floated past us.
Okay, so the absolute number one most shitty thing to ever happen to Marvel Strike Force, player unfriendly. Usually when I hear the terms player unfriendly, that tends to mean, free to play unfriendly. Otherwise, whales and krakens can just buy out whatever this happens to be if it's something that's buyable, which would suggest that it is. Usually when I hear this terminology, it's referencing, people who don't spend, who can't actively push themselves to get whatever it is that's coming.
There's going to be a lot of rage if they implement this.
If I said what it is, you would not like the company. You would think they're scumbags and actual evil, terrible people. Would you?
Like, that's some pretty strong words. You know, I've had my disagreements with the game and with Marvel Strike Force. I don't think I've ever said that before. So that's pretty far, and that's also pretty telling as to how bad, potentially, whatever this is, could be. And it's ominous, in a way. You know, in a way I want to know more. But I think we all might want to, because is it something that would get us to quit? When I mean get us to quit, I mean, I don't know, maybe free-to-play players who are going to get iced out from whatever this happens to be. You know, and I think the game is, right now, in a pretty good spot. I'm actually fairly happy, for the most part, I'm fairly happy with where the game is. I think it's actually improved a lot, especially since, like, March or April. Maybe around then, I don't know, like, maybe May, post-May, you know, like, kind of like after the whole Apocalypse kerfuffle, and that, you know, how that went for, like, the first month or so. I feel like the game did start improving, I don't know when it was, May, June, so somewhere around there. I did feel that the game was actually progressively getting better. That's just my thoughts.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was upset with that. I was like, do not do this. I don't even want to. This is bad. Don't. It's stupid.
And I floated by you and somebody else that I was just going to say what it was, because it is that terrible. And I just, like, I almost don't care anymore. It's such a bad idea. And then part of me is also like, bring it. Burn your ground to the game.
I know you got tongue-tied there, but burn the game to the ground, right? So it's that bad that it could do that. But what could that be? What could possibly be so bad? And I'm going to say right now, I don't know. I could speculate based on what I think could be worst-case scenarios, and that's what we're going to do in the second half of the video here. But
so
wow.
Dumb. I just can't believe there's somebody over there that's in charge that thought this was a good idea to even float by whoever they test up with, you know,
it's a higher up. It's not somebody that actually plays the game.
Yeah.
If somebody that actually played the game would not implement this. It's some money person at the top that doesn't.
So some person at the top decided this and didn't really think it through. So it has to do with money. It has to do with Scopely, Boundless, probably Scopely, whatever. Scopely execs making more money for the game. Okay, so I mean that pretty much says all I need to share with that video. Go watch the full video for Mobile Gamer, of course. Go check out his channel. Everyone's watching his channel anyways. But you know, so what could possibly be so bad that would either make us quit, that would burn the game to the ground, or whatever? You know, that's really telling. And so I've heard a lot, because not only, you know, I do play Lord of the Rings, which is a Capital Games game on the side as well, and they implemented a feature recently where, you know, now it's different from Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, but star ranks are so powerful that you basically need a 6 or 7 star character to do anything now. And so I heard that I don't have a lot of experience with Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, but anyways, and I'm sure there's going to be people who are going to correct me in the comments down below about this, that you essentially need 7 yellow stars for progression. That you need to have a 7 yellow character to be able to unlock a gear. I think it's to unlock, like, higher gear tiers or certain aspects of character progression. That's what I've been told. Again, feel free to correct me in the comments down below if that's not it. I didn't play the game. I know that some of the things that we have is kind of based on things from there, but we've kind of, like, redid our own version, like ISOs versus mods, for example, and thank F for that. I'm so glad that we don't have speed mods over on this game, otherwise things would get out of control. But let's take, for example, we are due for a new progression system. That much is clear. Whether it's level 1, it's going to be level 100, probably, plus something else. Most likely, a gear tier 19. We're done with Teal now. Teal's done and over with. Can't go any higher. We can see it in Blitz. It's like red, right? They have a red circle. So, I don't know, gear tier red. If they keep the color, gear tier 19. This is absolutely going to be due, I want to say by January or before. Hell, it could be next week in the patch, for all we know. Because I believe that the content patch for patch 7 point whatever number we're on is going to be next Tuesday or Wednesday. Could it be that early? I hope not. Whatever this is, I hope that I hope they had some time to think about it before they release it to the public, and then shit hits the fan. That's all I can say. So what could that be? Well, based on, again, what I heard from Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, is that it could be a progression system where it requires you to have 7 yellow maybe 7 red before you could unlock gear tier 19. That's the first thing that I was thinking about. Of which I only have a couple of characters. So why would they do that? And how would that benefit them? First of all, because I had this conversation in my Discord a little bit, how would Scopely benefit from this financially versus just how things are now, at the same time icing out low spenders, light spenders, and free to play by essentially mandating that new characters have to be 7 yellow to get them to a particular gear tier. I want to say flat out, I like where the game is at right now, that, I can have my Vol who's at 5-star, and I have a gear tier 18, and I can max them out right now, and that's great. It is very free-to-play friendly. Actually, believe it or not, this game is free-to-play friendly, and that's something that I really like about Marvel Strike Force, is that you can have your 3, 4, 5-star character, and you can compete. I'm not going to use the word compete, but you can engage in endgame content, Dark Dimension 6, incursion raids, and so on and so on. So the only, I'm not here to talk about PvP related stuff. So I don't have to spend to get that. But maybe that's the problem, is that a lot of people are like me and realizing that they can basically play everything in the game without having to spend. And that's maybe not making Scopely as much money as if they did mandate a 7-star requirement for progression, which might actually push them to spend more. Now, of course, this may not be the case. That's just something that, like, what do we currently have right now that could be locked behind a wallet? And that's the first thing that came to my mind, right? For new characters like Ghost Rider Robbie, who, is an amazing character. But if you wanted to get him to, say, gear tier 19, or even worse, actually, if they backdated this and said that you can't get teal gear tier, if you don't have a certain... Now, this would be weird. Maybe it'd probably be for future characters, because we already have that. It'd be weird for them to strip it off, and that would be a horrible idea. I hope that's not it. For you to have 7-star to get either existing stuff or new stuff coming up the way. Because that means that, given the way the characters are farmable in Marvel Strike Force, that would take like 6 to 9 months on a character, probably more. I think farmability, actual like permanent farmability, is really bad in the game. The availability of shards is good, but permanent farmability is terrible. So those characters would get iced out. Basically, if they had a 7 yellow function, maybe even 7 yellow, 7 red function, then you would not be able to progress unless those characters were like a year old, essentially, that you had access to them to be able to get 7 yellow, 7 red, which would make a significant impact to the game as it goes forward. Other things, I just don't... I'm having a hard time thinking about what could be the worst case scenarios aside from something like that. And some people were asking me, well, how does that get Krakens who probably already buy 7 yellows to spend more? If this endgame is to, to get more money going into the game, how does that get Krakens to spend more? Well, I guess it just mandates the fact that you would have to have a 7 yellow. Not 6, you have to have a 7. So they're all going to have to whale out for that 7. You're going to have to maybe get that 7 red, and then you're going to have to buy and spend whatever else, the additional progression is after that. I have to believe that it has something to do with progression, either directly or indirectly, because we are due for something, right? Whether it's, in the next 4 months or whatever, we are due for a level cap increase and some progression system as a result of that. We've had red stars for 3 years. I think maybe more. 4 years. Honestly, I'd have to go back to my channel and see. It's probably before I even started YouTubing. And so we are absolutely due for something different. We're slowly starting to see, I know not everyone has Big Apocalypse, but free-to-play players getting Big Apocalypse. I haven't spent a single dime on Blue 5s, and I have had Big Apocalypse. I'm also about 3 million Blue 5, 2.5 million Blue 5s, and I'm kind of wondering, like, what do I do with this? That's maybe a different conversation on a different video. And so we're kind of getting to this point, at least for veteran players, both free-to-play and spenders, where we're just kind of going through the motions with new characters. There's nothing new necessarily to look forward to. And so whatever this is has to be tied to all of that. something new and upcoming that is on the way, that's going to be coming soon, and it's going to be something that's so bad that most of us aren't going to like. That's the impression that I got. And a lot of people know the future. I don't. But I can only speculate on how bad that possibly could be. So I'm curious, and this has been on my mind a lot, and that's why I had to do a video. And again, this has nothing to do with the Envoys themselves. They're all great people. I have a good relationship with a lot of them that I speak to. And I think that this is just something that maybe it's from not knowing, but it's just wondering what the future of the game is going to look like if they barrel through with whatever this is. And that makes me concerned a little bit. Actually, a fair bit. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made this video. So I guess what I'm curious about from you, the community, is if this is as bad as foretold by Mobile Gamer and others, what do you think that could be? For those of you with experience with mobile games and hero collectors and whatnot, what bad situation could possibly be coming that is like the worst thing in the world? I've been trying to think about all the different scenarios, and for me, it just keeps coming back to yellow stars. And mandating yellow stars, and mandating specifically a 7 yellow, and maybe a 7 red. But what else could it be? What could it be? Let me know in the comments down below. I think I've run my course here. So that's going to be the end of this video, everyone. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay safe and healthy. And I'll see you all later. And tomorrow morning, we will have the event video for recruiting Ronin, because that's going to be going live on Friday. So until then, I'll see you in the next video.